So can anyone learn to teach?
I think anyone can learn to teach. I really believe that. I think you have people that take to it more naturally than others and people who are more natural teachers than others. But I've seen time and time again how people, even with a real lack of confidence, a real belief that it's not for them or they can't do it, actually end up doing really, really well. And I think the story of Connie really is a story I tell a lot that is the best. It's my favorite example of this. Now, Connie is someone who moved to Japan and had nothing, had no work, had nothing arranged, had to really design her life from scratch out in Japan. She didn't speak Japanese. She, I think at the beginning, didn't even have a visa to stay. So it was really an interesting situation. She decided that she wanted to teach, even though she had quite a few things that in theory were working against her. So first thing was that Connie was not a native English speaker. She did speak, fluent English, but she wasn't a native speaker. So she did feel a little bit, unsure of herself when it came to teaching. She had never taught before in her life. So I can't teach, what's this teaching? These are not for me. And also, she is originally from Hong Kong. And the thing about being in Japan is that Japanese people have strange feelings towards ethnically Chinese people. And so she had that, this combination of things. In theory, this is someone who had no business teaching English. But what she did really well was to identify what it was that she had of value to offer to people. And Connie had a background in science. And so what she did was she went to places where there were science students, so people doing science PhDs, learning science at university, people working in labs. And she said, I am a scientist from the UK, and I can help you do the things that you need to do in Japan to do your science, whether that's writing a paper or giving a speech at a conference or just talking to people, in your daily life about science. She could do that. And what she found was that she was inundated with students right from the beginning, because for these scientists who were really struggling with their English in Japan, because the whole scientific world functions in English, they had never seen a teacher who was offering science lessons in English, how to do science in English. And so she stood out a mile from all of the other English teachers out there in Japan, and there are many. And she found that not only did she get lots of students come to her, but she actually really enjoyed and could really help these students, because that was the thing that she knew, that's what she could do. And so the moral of the story is that everyone has that thing, that value in there, whatever their background. It's just a question of identifying that and knowing how to help you.
And do we cover this on Sealed?
Absolutely. This is one of the core, the foundational parts of the business module in Seal, where what we do is we work very, very closely with people to figure out, let's tell the story of your career, all the experience you have at different points in your career, professionally, not professionally, with, in socially, whatever it may be, in your interests. We go through a process of helping you identify exactly what those things are, and then figuring out, what is the best thing to offer to people? What's the best, how do you put your best foot forward? And this can come in unexpected ways. So for example, there can be people who have a background in music, and you think, well, who on earth would want to learn English with me? I'm just a musician. Well, guess what? Millions of people out there want to learn English and happen to love music. Yes. So they would love nothing more than to be able to learn English from someone who has the same interests as them. And so we go through a very, very detailed process of figuring out what is that thing that's going to work for you. And then we build your entire teaching persona on that.
So everybody has that unique quality.
Everybody. I have yet to see someone that doesn't have that. You might not know it yet. Yes. It might not be clear to you. Yeah. But just by the end of it, we'll have you very, very.
We'll identify.
You'll know what it is. Yeah.